And a number of times I've written his name in for governor, which I will do in November. So we're going to begin with
Seat number
area
one.
one. And area one is
That's me.
Sandra, our newest. You can go up there.
Well,
Oh,
you
I
come
can
on
go.
up here, and if you will indulge me, I want to make a few brief remarks. First, it's quite an honor to be asked to deliver this oath of office to the Board of Trustees. And let me tell you that one of the things I learned in my long career in community college is that the quality of the Board of Trustees makes all the difference in the world. I've traveled up and down the state, and I have found that the Board of Trustees can certainly be a tremendous power and influence in community colleges. After all, they're elected by the people. That's the word community. And these individuals we're going to swear in tonight have been elected by the people. And I was very privileged in serving as president of this institution from 1987 to 1995 to have an excellent board of trustees. In fact, one of them continues to this day. John Martin, and another one who was on the board of trustees at that time, Jeanette Mann, is in our audience, and she served for 30 years or more. So this Pasadena City College has been blessed by some wonderful board of trustees. And three of you were reelected, and we have a new member here tonight, and Sandra Lu Chen, and Chen Lao, I should say, I'm sorry. And a lot of the crowd here tonight is here because of you, Sandra. They are thrilled that you're and they're thrilled at your election, and I was fortunate enough to be involved to some degree in the election, and so we are all impressed with your enthusiasm, the nature of your campaign, the vigor of what you displayed, and I predict a very excellent career as a new trustee here at Pasadena City College. And so I'm extremely privileged to swear you in tonight, and I will simply say first that you will state your name. I, Sandra Chen Lao,
I, Sandra Chen Lao,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear I will support
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and defend the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
and without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation and purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And I'm confident as you embark on this new career that you'll do an outstanding job, Sandra.
Thank you so much, Jeff. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
So next on the list, representing re-elected in District Number 3 is Berlinda Brown.
I, Belinda Brown,
I, Belinda Brown,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Belinda.
All right, we have a package deal for seats 5 and 7, Linda Waugh and Dr. Tony Fellow.
Wearing them out, huh?
We didn't want to wear, we didn't want to wear out Dr. Scott.
It's in honor of the audience being able to get to the snacks earlier.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, I'm going to get both of you to say it then. All right, let's do that then. I, Linda Waugh,
I, Linda Waugh,
I, Anthony Fellows, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Anthony. Congratulations, Linda. Here were two individuals who I don't think had any opposition, so they must have been doing their job
I hate to say
quite
this,
well.
but I've never had any opposition.
Only after you went to area one. Oh, okay.
Okay,
with-
good.
Yay, San Marino.
I want to thank you, Jack, for being here, because I have
Oh.
tremendous respect. All of us have tremendous respect for you.
Well, thank you, Anthony.
Thank you so much.
Sure. All right, now we're going to bring up the student trustee.
Next up is our student trustee, Zanab Rad, and we are looking forward to having you join the board this year, too.
Congratulations. We have this student trustee, as you know, the student body at Pasadena City College is rather large, and it's quite an honor for this person to be here and to represent the students, and I applaud the Board of Trustees for their having a student trustee. All right, let's have you then swear. I, Janab Rod,
I, Zainab Rad,
all right, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies,
against all enemies,
foreign and domestic,
foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and to the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully
and that I will well and faithfully
discharge the duties
discharge the duties
upon which I'm about to enter.
of which I'm about to enter.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Scott. And now that he's been formally sworn in again, I'll hand the gavel back to Dr. Fellow.
Thank you for doing an excellent job, Mr. Osterling. We do have one proclamation this evening.
Pasadena Area Community College District and the Board of Trustees would like to thank Trustee Dr. Ross Selvage for his work on the board. Dr. Selvage was not able to join us today, but we do have a proclamation, and I will give you the highlights of that proclamation. Whereas Dr. Selvage has served as a trustee of Pasadena City College for nearly 5 years, including 1 year as board president, whereas Dr. Selvage's expertise in economics and finance have distinguished him as a strong fiscal steward of the college, whereas it was under his oversight that the college bolstered its long-term savings such that it is now better prepared for rising pension costs over the next decade, and whereas Dr. Selvage has long demonstrated this dedication to our community institutions in his leadership to ensure the fiscal health of the Pasadena Public Library, the historic City Hall building, Bob Hope Burbank Airport, and the Rose Bowl Stadium, and whereas his commitment to service includes 26 years of active and reserve duty in the United States Navy, whereas he is an alumnus of John Muir High School and our own college, whereas as a student he distinguished himself as a member of PCC's undefeated gymnastics team, and whereas he has contributed his knowledge and experience to the next generation by serving as an instructor at UCLA, Pepperdine University, and the University of Southern California, and whereas Dr. Selvage's colleagues on the board and at the college deeply appreciate his passion, commitment, and abiding interest in the success of our students, now therefore be it resolved that the Pasadena Area Community College District congratulates Dr. Ross Selvage for his service as a trustee. Executed this 18th of July, 2018 at Pasadena, California. This will give you
Thank you, Dr. Verdian. Before we party, and we have we're going to have a little party. We have a closed session, which will hopefully will begin at 6:30. If we go a little later, that's okay. But is there any comments, Mr. Hilsman?
We have no public comments.
In closed session tonight, we'll be talking about the Government Code 54957, which is evaluation of employees, labor negotiations, and the search for the new president. So at this time, I would like to invite you. We do have cake and stuff.
Yes, we do.
Okay, good. So we'd like you to enjoy. Our new trustee has a lot of her friends and family here, and we welcome you to the board.
And our returning trustees.
Our returning trustees, who've eaten a lot of cake up here the past few years. But let's have a reception for a while and enjoy. Champagne?
Mr. President, given that we had a short term due to the change in the voting schedule, I nominate Dr. Tony Fellow to continue on as our board president.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any other questions or discussions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, board. Need the work, but I love it. I like it. You're such a good board. Now nominations for board vice president.
So I'd like to Oh, I'd like to have the honor of nominating my friend and my colleague, James Osterling, for the position of board, vice chair to board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
And student trustees also voting. The next is for board clerk. I'll take nominations,
I would like to nominate Trustee Hilsman for the clerk.
and I'll second that. Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries, and student trustee is in the affirmative. Thank you very much. The board secretary, we must nominate Dr. Verdian. Can I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Is there a discussion?
According to the laws, no discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. So thank you very much, Board of Trustees. And we have the certification of signatures. You also have in front of you the settings for the time and dates of regular meetings, and we can discuss that more as we approach in November and December. We will now convene to the regular meeting of the board. Dr. Verdian, you have some introductions and recognitions this evening.
Yes, we have with us today 3 new administrators. I want to recognize Ms. Candice Jones, who is the Executive Director of IT. Ms. Joyce Miabe, Director of IT. And Ms. Kathy Hansen, who is Director of HR. Welcome to Pasadena City College. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome. Does the board have any other introductions this evening? Very well. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Move to approve the agenda.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Waugh, second from Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. The next is approval of minutes of the, or public comments at this time.
Yes, we have one public comment. Patricia Dorange Martin. Thank you.
Welcome.
Good evening, Dr. Verdian and members of the Board of Trustees. I'm here tonight to give you an update on veteran services here at PCC. I know that you've been getting regular updates by Dr. Storti about the construction in the VRC. And I wanted to come here tonight to thank Dr. Verdian and Dr. Storti and Todd Hamilton for all the hard work and the expediency that they've given this project to get us to open, hopefully, the first day of fall. But I especially want to thank Todd Hamilton on how hard he's worked on this. His expeditious attention to all the details that are needed to make this happen has been absolutely awesome. He gives me regular updates, which I very rarely had in the past, and this makes it so much easier for us to work collaboratively. He's had to fix things that were omitted in the plans while keeping within the parameters of our building regulations, and that also looks at how we're going to be able to get there on time within our time frame. He's kept on target, and I really, really wanted to thank him tonight. Thank you. Where is he at?
In the back.
Anyways, I'm very excited about it. And to add a cherry on top, we are going to anticipate our reopening in October. And I'm currently working with Alex Buckelheit to try and make that happen. And I also wanted to announce tonight that we've received a one-time $200,000 grant from the Chancellor's Office. And that's to be spent in the next 3 years, and it's to enhance programs that we already have. The money can't really replace any existing funding, but it is the first step for the California legislature to see what we can do, gather data, and hopefully make this an ongoing funding for all community colleges. I also want to thank Nancy Roberts and Carol Calandra and Armando Duran, Dr. Cohen-Chow, and Dr. Olivo, without whose help I could not have finished this grant, so I'm very excited. So I want to thank the board as well for all the support that you've given us. You can tell I'm very, very excited. And by the way, we received the third highest score on that grant, so I'm really, really excited. Again, thank you very, very much.
Thank you for being here.
Mr. President, if I could, I just want to echo what Patty just said, and we know what a challenge it's been to deal with the DSA to get this done, and I'm glad we're finally at the finish line.
Thank you. That's it. Very good. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting for June 6th.
Move to approve.
A motion from Ms. Waugh
I'll second it.
and a second from Ms. Brown. Any further discussion? Student trustee, you want to abstain?
I'm good.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Okay, we're now going to go into consent items. These will go very fast. The first items are a bunch of items that deal with students. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion from Mr. Hilsman, a second from Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? Student trustee? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. The second group deal with instruction. The wishes of the trustees.
Move to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion from Ms. Waugh, second from Ms. Brown. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. The third group deals with business.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Ms. Waugh, second from Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries unanimously. The third is the important one, dealing with personnel issues. Entertain a motion.
Move approval.
A motion from Ms. Brown, a second from Ms. Waugh. There's no student trustee voting on personnel issues. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Gosh,
Okay.
that's it for
Run through that like
Now we move to action items this evening, and the first deals with the presidential search. Mr. Duran?
Good evening, and it's nice to be back. It's nice to be out of the Central Valley because we have a huge fire up in the mountains, and the Central Valley is a huge bathtub, and right now it's full of smoke. So I'll be driving back into it this evening. But we just Vice President Beam and I are here to give you an update and to give folks in the audience an update on where we are with respect to the search. And there's been a considerable amount of work that's been done on the brochure, the front page that you see there of the brochure that has been put together with the input from certainly you, the Board of Trustees, and from the constituent groups on campus, some consultants that we shared some of the content with, and so we pulled it all together, and you have had an opportunity to, and we can scroll through it. But before we get started, I just wanted to thank Alex Bucklehide, though I won't try to spell his name. I can say it, and his team, and certainly Linda, for the work that we were able to do in turning this brochure around so quickly, so that we could bring it to you tonight, hopefully for approval, in anticipation that we would go live with the search, the launch, on Friday. And as a result of that, then we can literally start in earnest going out and finding your next leader. So let me turn it over to Linda, and she can speak to you about the elements that we find in here. But it is reflective. It is reflective of the input that we've received from you and from other constituent groups. It may look a bit like the last one, but the content is a bit beefier, and I think it reflects more what it is that you are looking for in your next president, so that when a candidate, when we go out and recruit, and we share this with them electronically or physically, that when they read that, they will have a good sense of what it is that Pasadena City College is looking for in their next president.
So what we have on the screen, and I realize it's a small example, but this will be basically the brochure that will be distributed electronically, as well as we'll have paper copies available to interested parties. And it is this is I'm going to call it the fancy version of the actual document that's included as a attachment in the board agenda. So for those of you who have looked at the board agenda, you will see that the word copies in there. And since the agenda was posted to today, that's where Mr. Bucklehide's assistance has made this brochure basically a more polished and finished product. And so what you will see is basically a full scope information regarding the process, what is expected, the responsibilities, as well as a robust website that will allow candidates a broad opportunity to understand who we are and what we are expecting of our next superintendent president. The document, let me see if it's, no, I don't think we have the website up. The website, if the timeline is approved today by the Board of Trustees, as well as the content of the job description, it is our intent to open the position this Friday. Along with that will be a website with all of the information that'll be available. And those will be, this document as well as our website will be the two primary sources for all candidates to use, as well as their contact with PPL's consultants. That'll be what will allow them to make hopefully a good determination to become a candidate for this position. So that is, like I said, this is the document, and regrettably I don't have in front of me the website, and so, is that up there? Ah, there we go. This is the draft of the website that will be going live, and the idea there is they can click right on that front page to read the actual job description that you just saw a moment ago. And to the top of that, I think you guys are the, on the other side? No, I apologize. This is not the actual website. I will send the link. I will send the link to the Board of Trustees so that you can certainly take a look at it. The website itself will have all of the information regarding the district itself, including the information that we were able to glean through our institutional research, as well as all of the other pertinent documents, including our various educational plans, our facility plans, so that the individual will be able to do sufficient research. So this is just a opportunity for us to get this moving, and it's our intent to have this out on the streets by the end of the week.
Yeah, and the website, when you have an opportunity to see it when it goes live, is very navigable. When someone goes to it, at any given time, they can go to any part of it. They'll be able to, on any one of the pages, hit a button, and that'll take them right directly to the application process. And very, very friendly, very user-friendly. That with the brochure really puts the nice face out on behalf of this college as we go out. So as of Friday, actually we've already started, but as of Friday, we literally we launch and we start the recruiting process for 7 weeks to come away with a pool of candidates that we think are going to be very, very strong, because we were already starting to get, as I was mentioning earlier, we're already starting to get interest. People know that we've gotten the search from you folks, so people are already starting to make inquiries. So we're excited. We're excited about it. We're ready to go, and happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Are there any questions?
The new site is up.
This is the website that we
Oh,
were.
there you go.
And so this is on the left-hand side, you'll see it's consistent with our templates that we use on our website. So it has robust information how to immediately apply for the position, as well as providing hopefully an abundance of information so that the candidates are able to have a very good idea of the expectations of this position, as well as of the college itself.
Very good. Tonight, the Board of Trustees will be voting on the search application and announcement. And is there any further questions? And the
approve
timeline.
announcement in the calendar.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Wah, second from Mr. Hilsman. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Thank you. The next agenda item is approval of the Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena Area Community College and the California School Employees Association. Dr. Verdian?
I'm going to ask Vice President Beam to introduce this item.
Item number 2 is the, apologies, let me get this up here. The memorandum of understanding that was put in place under AB 119 that the state adopted that requires us to provide specific information to unions regarding new employee orientations. It's basically an implementation into our contract of the existing law.
Further discussion? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
Second.
A motion from Ms. Brown, a second from Ms. Wah. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously. The third item this evening is approval of the tentative agreement between the Pasadena Area Community College and the California School Employees Association.
I'm going to ask Vice President Beam to introduce this item also.
This is a memorandum of understanding, a tentative agreement that modifies language in the CSCA contract, which will permit the changing of schedules affected by CSCA employees by approximately 30 minutes with appropriate notice. In addition to that, there was some language cleanup and some modification to the sunrise, swing shift, and graveyard differentials. So these are intended to go into place on July 1st.
Thank you. The wishes of the trustees?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Wah, second from Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries unanimously. The next item deals with COLA increase for unrepresentative employees in the executive level for fiscal year 2018-19. Dr. Vernon?
Mr. President and members of the board, as you know, we have reached agreement with all groups on campus to have COLA for the year 18-19, and the executives who work on a contract were not part of that, so therefore we are asking that the board approves COLA for the executives for the year 18-19.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Wah, second from Mr. Hilsman. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item number 5 is also to improve a COLA for the superintendent president for fiscal year 2018-19.
Move to approve.
And I
Second.
We have a motion from Ms. Wah, second from Mr. Osterling. Further discussion? Student trustee?
Aye.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. We now move into information items, and the first item will deal with...
Mr. President,
Yes.
with your indulgence, I'd like to make a comment back on the search.
Sure.
So we approved a calendar tonight, and on that calendar, it talked about a process that we plan on following, which is a little bit different than the process that we have followed in the past. And it's my understanding that this process is the recommendation of a committee that was a joint committee that was formed on campus with various staff members. And so we don't really need to approve that changes to those processes tonight. There's another meeting where we could officially do that, but it's obvious that we approved a calendar, and that calendar had very specific dates that kind of coordinated the outcome of what came out of that committee, which indicates that the Board of Trustees is in the knowledge and understanding and supportive of the work the campus committee is doing. So I just thought I would kind of connect those dots for people in the audience.
Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. The first information item this evening is dual enrollment memorandum with the Pasadena Unified School District. Dr. Verdian?
As you know, we have been talking about dual enrollment at Pasadena City College for some time, and I am happy to report that we are now reaching fruition to this project. And PUSD has already had the opportunity of reviewing this document by the board at their last board meeting, and they will be voting on it next week. And we will now be introducing you to this memorandum of understanding that will allow us to offer dual enrollment classes not only at Pasadena Unified School District, but also the other school districts which fall within our serving area. And Dr. Torrigiuni, Assistant Superintendent, Vice President for Instruction, will briefly give you the highlights of what this MOU entails. Dr. Giuni?
Thank you, Dr. Verdian. And so just really quick, obviously if there are questions from the board, I'll be happy to answer those. I just wanted to give you, and do you control this or do I? Just push oh, there we go. Okay. Just give you some of the highlights of dual enrollment at PCC, and so I'm not going to go through everything on this slide, but from a historical perspective, obviously we've been doing it for a while, and so you can see the numbers at the lower part of the slide for 2014-2017 of the number of classes that we had offered prior to this year. It's important for me to note to the board that those classes were offered at a time that we were not collecting apportionment for them, and most of those classes, if not all, were funded by grants. And so the way things have really changed, and what we're talking about now with this agreement, is to utilize the changes to law that came through AB 288 to allow us to have classes that only have high school students in them, so they're closed to the general public, and we can still collect apportionment for them. And so that's really what this MOU is about. And this MOU is with Pasadena Unified School District. We will be bringing to you at subsequent meetings MOUs that we're currently working on with El Monte, the El Monte District, as well as the Temple City District. They are both very interested in this. They're just delayed a little bit behind in regard to that. And so I already mentioned this when I was talking about that in Senate Bill 338, which was driving dual enrollment before. That was for students that basically excelled and were already college ready, that could take dual enrollment classes while they were in high school. The way that AB 288 changed it is to allow dual enrollment to also be offered to students that were not moving toward college or were in underrepresented groups at college, and it specifies certain areas that those classes need to work toward, and that's helping them move toward a certificate in a CTE area for work, transfer, or basically improving graduation rates at the high school, as well as improving college readiness for those high schools. And so when we talk about CCAP agreements, a CCAP agreement has to basically provide one of those four outcomes for the high school where those classes are being offered. Student recruitment will be a shared, work on student recruitment will be shared between the high school district and the college. We obviously will be going out to the high schools to help them recruit students for these. A big part of that will be each high school will be determining what's the strategy that they're trying to use dual enrollment for, what's the purpose of dual enrollment. We will also still continue to offer classes that are outside the school day that will be open to community students, but those will also be offered at the high school so that the high school students can benefit from that. And those don't require an MOU for us to do that. That's really just another site or location where we offer those. The course selection, as I kind of referenced, will be directing at the bullets underneath. The smaller bullets: assist with transition from high school to college, develop seamless pathways, prepare students for transfer, improve high school graduation, help high school students achieve college and career readiness. The college will actually provide what I sometimes refer with my dean, an appetizer menu. So we won't be basically saying to the high school, pick any course you want out of the PCC catalog. We will already have pre-selected the courses that help meet these pathways, and then we'll work with the principals and the counselors at the high schools to determine what's the best set of these courses that meet these outcomes to be offered at each of the high schools that we participate in. If you have any questions.
Very good. Oh, Ms. Waugh.
Yeah, so being a product also of concurrent enrollment, I'm very much a proponent of this. So I'm really glad to see that we move this on. I'm glad to see Arcadia also included in the upcoming schedule. So will there be more outreach to the other high schools in our district?
Yeah, the high schools that were mentioned are ones that conversations have already started, and the actual agreement that will work with each of those is already being worked on. For example, San Marino High School, the principal, I had conversation with him at the K-12 luncheon that we had earlier. They have interest. Their interests are a little bit different and a little bit, I won't say more complicated, but they're very much interested in transfer. But for example, what they're really interested in is the ability for their students to come into our honors pathway that will allow them the ability to transfer to UCLA. And so that's an example, though, of other high schools that aren't on the list that we've already started conversations of how we might be able to do that.
So let me just follow up a little bit on that, because I think that in our earlier conversation, we talked about the in-district enrollment and what PCC means to our in-district students. And I do think that the dual enrollment is a program that would greatly interest most of our students. I think that, for example, in Area 5, I do see a little bit of discussion. There's confusion in the community about the value of AP versus dual enrollment. I encourage us to really have some conversations with the administrators of the high school to really help them understand. Well, I think the administrators probably understand. I think it's the community, but really there needs to be maybe some communication and outreach to the community so that they better understand that value. I think the transferability is really important, and I really thought that the transfer lunch that PCC hosted was really a great success. One of the things I thought that was really important that Arizona talked about was they already have the list of classes that are already articulated to their university that are transferable. And I think that's helpful to the community if we can do something like that, if we have that list ready. So I just want to encourage that. And then, and I know we have not accepted international students on dual enrollment, but yet that is, I think, something of great interest. We do have an international community here, very strong ties to international community. So I would encourage us to look at that for the future.
So just the comment in regard to your comment, Trustee Wah, articulation is another part of this, and so we are also reviewing all our articulation agreements, and we're trying to expand those. And it is one of the issues is really students as well as parents as well as high schools understanding AP versus dual enrollment. And I know in my history working with that, oftentimes when I was still in the classroom, I would have students come during the summer to take a biology class from the college I taught at to prepare for their high school AP class. And it was like, well, you don't need to do that, because once you take this class, you will have a college transcript with a biology class on it. And so you're right. There's outreach that needs to happen. There's education that needs to happen to help the high schools, the students, as well as the parents understand the difference between AP and a dual enrollment class.
Thank you, Dr. Chu.
Thank you. Ms. Brown.
Thank you. So I am very happy to see this memorandum of understanding finally come here, and we hope that PUSD will quickly sign it, because many constituents are very unhappy with the fact that we're not offering dual enrollment in our schools. So this is wonderful, and the opportunities that this brings, you already know the benefits. Most people know that, and I appreciate your hard work in getting this through. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Hilsman. Osterling, excuse me.
I just wanted to follow up on Trustee Wah's comments about the transfer lunch that we just had, and specifically Arizona State. They have already pre-approved 1,000 classes from California community colleges that that you can go to their website and they say, if you took this class from PCC or any other community college, it will count as credit towards ASU. And that's great for ASU. I would encourage us to get our California schools that many of our students want to matriculate to also go down that path and pre-approve that. I know in theory all of our classes sync up perfectly with the UCs and the Cal States, but in reality that's not always true. And so I know you don't control that. That's the at the college level. But what they have done is really impressive and really makes it easy for people to see the path from PCC or a California community college to ASU. But we also need to show them that to the CSUs and the UCs.
And the work that we're doing that will integrate with that really is in the Guided Pathway Project. And so we had already started conversations before that luncheon, but that came out at that, the interest of the privates as well as out of states, as well as the CSUs and the UCs. That so as we develop our maps, we will be looking at how they will develop a pathway to any one of those for a bachelor's degree in those particular areas. And so I think that will fit right into the work that Arizona State has already done, but we can help our students basically move toward whichever four-year college they desire to transfer to.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. See no other questions. Thank you. Dr. Junji.
Thank you. So just to make sure you understand, it has to come twice. So today was just information item. If you have more questions, I'll be back at your next meeting, and at that meeting, hopefully, you will vote to approve. Thank you.
We now turn to. Do you want to say something? We now turn to the superintendent president's report.
Thank you, Dr. Fellow. It's hard to believe, but summer is now about halfway over, and we are planning for a very successful fall semester. The summer schedule asks a lot of our students, with 16 weeks of learning condensed into only 8 weeks of classes. We are in excellent shape for this intersession and are glad to be educating more than 12,100 students this summer. We are projecting a strong report of full-time equivalent students for the intersession, and our year-long figures for academic year 17-18 have been solidified. Last Monday, we sent our annual apportionment report, commonly known as 320 reporting, to the Chancellor's office. Our numbers were above expectation. We met our base of 23,987 FTES. Added to that was growth of 222 FTES, and we also had an extra 31.41. In total, for the year 17-18, we are reporting 24,241 full-time equivalent students. This is a true achievement, indeed, in the current environment of declining enrollment region-wide as well as statewide. I want to send a tremendous thank you to everyone who made this possible, especially Dr. Juni and the Deans of Instruction. Our enrollment management practices are very sound, and our college is stronger because of them. On a separate note, we just paid for the elections, and today we administered the oath of office for 4 new board members. But what I want to bring to your attention is the fact that the election is now moved to even years and to June has significantly, drastically reduced what we pay to the county. Our bill for this election, $133,593. In November 2015, we paid $421,556. This is because there are so many more elections happening at the same time, so therefore the charges get divided by a greater number of groups. And added to that, there are also a significantly higher number of people that take part in the election. Thank you for the wisdom that you had in voting to move the election to even years. Last Tuesday, as mentioned by several board members, we hosted representatives from more than 20 colleges and universities for a transfer leadership luncheon. We were pleased to welcome Trustees Brown, Osterling, and Watt to the event as well. It was a wonderful experience to see so many four-year institutions represented on our campus and to hear them all speak so highly of our college. We expect many productive partnerships to spring from this event, and we look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Last month, just after commencement, the college was pleased to partner with UCLA's Department of Education to offer a two-day conference in Westwood titled Action of Equity in the California Community Colleges. This event brought together practitioners from our college with system leaders, including Chancellor Elor Yokley, to better understand approaches we can use to reduce equity gaps. It was a real treat to have us at the forefront of such an important conversation. The college recently completed a survey of our Northwest service area to better understand the demand for services in the area, specifically at our planned PCC Northwest facility at John Muir High School. From the 479 responses collected, we were pleased to see that 82% indicated a positive impression of the college, and the greatest interest was in self-enrichment, job training, and credit courses. The college is continuing to go through the data for further information as we develop our presence at John Muir High School. We are all working toward our fall semester starting in late August, and we're particularly excited about August 28 and 29, when the visiting team from the Aspen Prize will come to campus for in-person interviews. We are very eager to show them what makes our college such a success. Lastly, this past weekend, PCC was represented at AstroFest, the city's public event showcasing all of Pasadena's institutions that work in astrophysics and astronomy. The event coincided with COSPAR, the major international astronomy conference that is going on in the city this week. On Sunday, representatives from our outreach department and students working with Professor Jamal Ashraf's Swamathon project took their place in the Pasadena Convention Center. They met more than 3,000 members of the public, including many children who were learning about STEM careers from us, along with Caltech, the Carnegie Observatories, JPL, the 30-meter telescope, and many other scientific institutions. A great thank you to Professor Ashraf and Professor John Sepikas for making this event possible. This concludes my report. Enjoy the rest of summer.
Thank you. Any questions or anything? Thank you very much. Now we'll turn to shared governance in the Board of Trustees and welcome Ms. Lenora Rogas.
Hi, it's great to be here. Thank you for welcoming me. And I don't have a ton to report because we were newly elected. I just took office July 1st. However, we do have some exciting things in store for the upcoming school year. First, we'll be holding our Flex Day, which is a faculty and staff professional development day. That's going to start before instruction begins, and this is the first time that we're doing that. The Faculty Senate last year did approve a professional development day to occur before classes meet. The theme this year will be first day, first week, first month, to help us better empathize and identify with student needs as they are brought into the PCC community for the first time, and how we can create a more welcoming environment for our students. Other things on the slate for the current year will be dealing with AB 705, which is, as you already know, trying to pare down basic skills courses and enable students to be able to pass those transfer level courses within the first year, ideally, of their time at PCC. The exception would be ESL students. So part of our goal for this upcoming year is to figure out ways to support our math faculty and our English faculty to make sure that we meet AB 705 successfully and that we meet the needs of the students who may not necessarily come in as prepared as we would ideally hope for English and college, math and college level courses. The other primary thing that we're working on over the summer is a plan to better integrate adjunct into the life of the college. And this is not only an accreditation concern, but a concern for just the health of the college community in general. And so we look forward to working with the administration and our adjunct faculty to better isolate what their needs are and how we can do a better job of supporting them throughout this upcoming year.
Thank you very much. And representing management this year will be Mr. Tito Altamirano.
Yes,
Tito,
sir.
nice to have you here.
Thank you. Nice to be had. It's just good to be back again. I was actually talking to Felicia a while ago. Last time I was here was as a classified center rep for the classified center. Just it's good to be back. And more than anything, just similarly again as a new elected president, we also have a new board completely. I'm actually Leslie Tirapelli is our new vice president, and then Javi, who's also in the house, our new treasurer. And lastly, Dino Isela Osegueda, our new secretary, and Dean Rebecca Cobb is our coordinator. So again, it's a new team, but all of us anxious to really help out our managers, not only in terms of management, but in leadership as well. So that's going to be our goal for the year. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And representing classified personnel is the Senate is Felicia Mitchell. Welcome.
Good afternoon. I'm glad to be back. We don't have too much to report. We did have our elections last week, a couple weeks ago, and actually Alex Buckelheit did post that we all of our officers, and also additional officer we have is an alternative board of trustee rep, which would be Maria Bustamante. We will be alternating times of coming. And one more thing, that we will be having our retreat on next Friday at CEC.
Thank you very much. And we also have with us representing the Associated Students is the president, Colin Kim.
Hi, my name is Colin Kim. I got elected as a new Associate Students President. And our new boards are on training right now, and the training will be till July 27. And we also have a overnight training until August 1st to 4th. The reason why we're doing this is to offer students a better student life and to achieve them student success. So we're looking forward to offer them benefits from this college. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll turn to our new student trustee, who says I can call her Z Rad.
Yeah. Okay, well, as Dr. Verdian just stated, the summer session has been boosting, and there's been a great amount of feedback, positive feedback. And also the Wi-Fi lounge, which is now being used as the Welcome Center, is incredibly effective. I've talked to the people who are training and the people who are coming in, and the students coming in are learning about the opportunities PCC has to offer, and they're incredibly happy with it. Also, I'm incredibly excited to be working with you guys. I think it's going to be an amazing year, and I look forward to it. Thank you.
Welcome. We look forward to having you here. Thank you. And our new trustee, Ms. Chin Lau.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you, and I certainly like to thank everyone who's been so supportive of me on my first day on the job. So I join in with many of you who are newly elected to represent PCC, and I know I'm looking forward to working with everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Brown.
Very good. So basically, I do not have anything to report, but I do want to comment on that beautiful, and that's beautiful is not the word. The word that I'm looking for is, that luncheon, it was so rich. It was so rich. We had all these different colleges that came in one place to attempt to figure ways of how to so easily allow our students to transfer seamlessly without problems. I thought it was just a great idea because, students come, they do their 2 or 3 years, and then they go to a different environment. Some of them get lost, some of them drop out. But if you can connect them, as we tried to do, I think it was just wonderful, and I applaud Dr. Verdine and Cynthia for thinking of it. I mean, that room was packed of all professionals with the same goal, and I was very impressed. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Osterling.
Nothing to report, but I would like to again welcome our new trustees. Sandra Chen Lau actually used to work with my wife at USC, so now I get to work with you at PCC. And also our new student trustee. I wasn't exactly sure how to pronounce her name, and so when I asked her, she said, well, it's Rad. So we now have a rad student trustee. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. And back
I-
from Yosemite?
Yes. It's a pretty country out there. It's a big country. So I have nothing to report, but I want to echo Jim's welcome to our new trustee. I'm very proud of the work she's done already, and I look forward to working with her in the future, and also to our student trustee, Z, Rab. It's going to be great to have you aboard. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Martin?
Again, nothing to report. I'm thrilled with our new trustees, and encourage you to ask questions, because these people throw like the alphabet at us all the time. And I honestly, half the alphabets they're throwing at me, I don't remember what they stand for. So if you will ask the question, I'm not embarrassed, because I don't know either. So feel free to ask lots of questions. I greatly appreciate it. So welcome, welcome. And I think we have a process for our new trustees. If they'd like to select a mentor, you can think about it for a little bit of time, and then whoever you select, whoever you pick, we'll try to do the best we can to help get you up and running. But obviously, just from the meeting tonight, you're both hit the ground running pretty good. So welcome.
And Mr. Martin, this has to be a historic in some sense. How many inaugurations have you been through, board changes?
He's your mentor.
I don't know.
That'd be every 2 years.
Yeah, and how old are you, Jim? John?
Right.
Let's just say he's been here a while.
So it appears that John is going to mentor a new trustee.
That
I
would
don't
be a
know
good
if I'd be
mentor.
the best mentor, because oh, well, there you go. But I'd be happy to.
Thank you, John. Ms. Wah?
Well, I also want to offer my congratulations to all of those who are new and all of our representatives who are new. So I want to report that on the league board meeting, we also elected our new president. So as is the tradition, we alternate the league president between the trustees and the CEO. This year, it will be trustee Jim Moreno from Coast, who will be the league president, and then he will be co-chairing the two boards with President Marvin Martinez from ELAC. President Moreno talked about his priorities for the league and for the trustees in particular, and focusing on student success. And some of the things, so he and I talked a couple of days ago, and so one of the things that we would like to see is getting more trustee involvement. So not just the 21 trustees at the state level, but other trustees on other boards working towards the success of our students and looking at the policies that should be developed in conjunction with our CEOs and our fellow board members. So anyway, I hope some of you will raise your hand and also want to volunteer. Trustee Moreno has been very involved with me on the workforce issues, and he wrote actually the first paper before we started the WEDPAC meetings. Also on, let's see, so on the and speaking of WEDPAC, so we had a WEDPAC meeting a couple of weeks ago, and one of the things, as you may know, there is additional money being put towards the CTE and towards furthering the CTE, so the governor's office has almost doubled the amount of money coming to the colleges. So this year, more money is now shifting from local, because they have expected the local to already have established their programs, and more money now is moving towards a regional effort. And so money is now being allocated to develop the K-12 partnerships for the CTE. So we look forward to hearing where that will go. I think that will be a strong partnership with many of our K-12s in our area. And for those of you who keep in touch with the BOG and what they're doing, the last BOG meeting, the governor came and wanted to thank the chancellor and all the colleges for supporting the digital college. So our 115th college has been approved and on the way. So we'll all look forward to seeing how that will happen. I see Dr. Verdian smiling over there. So I know you'll be instrumental helping push that forward.
What are they calling that? I didn't.
The digital college, the 115th college. It doesn't really have a name, and the structure is yet to be determined. It will probably be governed at first by the BOG, and then we'll shift to the more traditional governance. But the expectation is that much of the work that was done under OEI by the individual colleges will then be in some way collaborated, so it will bring it under an umbrella so that all digital coursework will be available throughout the system. And so the other thing I wanted to thank Salvatrice, so participating in the career fair that we just had with the Foothill Board. We had over 100, I think, participants and about 20 employers who came. So we will be debriefing on that, but I think it was very successful. We got great feedback from the community, and I hope it's something that we will do again. And then I wanted to remind everyone that tomorrow is the barbecue, well, it's the San Gabriel Valley Civic Alliance, their annual barbecue, but this one will be held in honor of the late trustee David Hall from Mount Sac. So I hope all of you will have a chance to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The only thing I'd like to just compliment everybody about the graduation. I thought it was another wonderful event and very classy and went well. And I want to thank the faculty, Dr. Olivo, for, I went to a lot of the various divisions, and the Hispanic student division was wonderful. And Linda, we went to the most wonderful.
Yeah, what was that?
I was so impressed by the dental students.
So we went to the dental, restorative dental graduation, which was pretty amazing. And then the second one we went to was the education awards.
And that was the dental was. I was very impressed with.
Yes, Tony and I know everything we need to know about restorative dentistry. So.
And then, man, they had quite a lunch too.
Yes.
But when it's talking about that, one of the things I'd like us to do is really to get out more. Maybe have some, as a board, have some field trips into, like the dental.
We don't have any problem. If all of you would like to have your teeth clean one day, you let me know. I can have a general session for all the 7 trustees and the student trustee to have a trustee teeth cleaning session in our dental offices.
How about my car tune-up?
That's
different, because the other one we offer for free. As a matter of fact, we do go out and ask people to come for free for the teeth cleaning.
That's amazing what we offer here.
Well, the restorative dentistry, I think, for those trustees who have not had a chance to see that program, I highly recommend that you take a look at it. It is not the traditional dentistry that we think of. I mean, it's about teeth implants, but it's also the new technology that they're using to analyze and to develop all of the prosthetics for dentistry. So, in the old days, they were digging around in your teeth, and now they're just waving a wand, and they can, so they don't have to have individual x-rays. They can just take an impression of your mouth from this digitized wand. Anyway, it was pretty interesting. I thought it was very interesting.
Very impressive. Proposed future board meeting dates. The only thing I'd like to talk to you about next in August is the retreat, and perhaps we've talked a little bit about sitting down and talking about a strategic plan for the future.
If we look at the August retreat date proposed, we have, you all have it on your calendar, right? It's item number, I believe, number 2 on the agenda. It's open session C4. Okay, you see it there, C4. And so August, we'll have to pick a date, either Saturday, August 25th for the study session, or Wednesday, the 29th for the study session.
I'm out of town.
Which one?
Both.
Both, okay.
Okay.
Let's hear from, so we will not do it, shall we propose a different date, or?
I will.
I'm out of town on that Saturday, but I could be there on the Wednesday.
Wednesday?
The 22nd?
29th.
29th.
Wednesday, 29th of August.
But Belinda won't be here?
No. You're out of both days, right?
I would like to be present.
Okay, so what do we,
I'll send a
shall we try, shall we ask Mary to send?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we will then be sending an email to all the trustees for the study session, all right?
Okay, great.
Then September is the 12th. We moved that date from the 19th because of Yom Kippur. October is the 17th. That's a regular third Wednesday. November now, 21st is Thanksgiving Eve.
Yeah.
That's out?
We got a cup.
Okay, so that's okay. So November 14th then.
That I'm okay.
Is that okay with everybody with November 14th, all right? And then we go down to December, the regular meeting, because we can do the third one, right, Mary? Because school is closed at that time, so it will be December 12th. Then January 16th, February 20th.
You don't need to go on. You don't need to go on.
No need to go on. I want all of you to know that we have checked all the conferences and they don't conflict with the dates. CCLC will be starting on Thursday, the Thursday after our Wednesday meeting. So since it is in Rancho Mirage, it's a 2.5-hour drive. It's no more than 2.5 hours.
Right.
So
Even less
2
than
hours. 2 hours. All right.
Yeah.
I drive within speed limits, so you know. All right. So Mary will be sending to all of you then a calendar notice for the study session.
Okay, good. Any proposed future agenda items? Good. Seeing no further business before this board, this meeting's adjourned.